wanted to comment, and the people that aren't drawn to the kindness are probably the people you don't want to be around.
That's right. That's right. For me, it took me a while to figure that out. But that's right, and that's why I've kind of systematically eliminated. And the person, my business partner now, I met him 20 years ago. There's nobody I've worked with in my entire career I respect more than him, and now I have the opportunity to work with him. And one of the things I respect him is his work ethic and how he conducts himself, as a professional. There's no, have you all worked in places where people get upset, there's a lot of drama and swearing and yelling and finger pointing, and we have a drama-free zone by design. This is actually supposed to say my ability to lead others is in direct proportion to my ability to lead myself. So, how many people are managers? How many people are going to be managers one day? So, how are you good at leading people? Are you good at leading yourself? I would ask you to consider that if you really want to be a great leader, you know how to lead yourself. And then part of some of the pragmatic tools that I'm going to show you today are things that can help you manage yourself, lead yourself. Curiosity and lifelong learning open doors to reinvention. I think a gift I am thankful for is the fact that I'm really curious. And I like to learn. And it makes all the difference in the world. Not only are you going to anticipate change, but that you actually can drive change and be thought leaders around change. And this is another one that took me a long time to learn too. Yeah, go ahead.
On what you just said about lifelong learning,
Yeah.
I think that goes along with your positive attitude.
Yep.
Because then you can look at things and say, instead of going, oh God, I'm not going to be able to do this, it's more of a, wow, this is going to be fun. I'm going to get to learn how to do this.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I think a lot of times people don't want to go through the pain of learning something new.
Yeah.
And that's the cool part, is that pain actually is a good thing, because you're going to remember that lesson the best, because that's the one that caused you the most strife.
Yep.
And I know for me, the more I burned my hands or had trouble with my job, it has made me like the best person to deal with problems, because now not only am I immune to the emotion that goes along with it, I know how to step through things better so I can do better the next time. And I don't look at my failure as a problem, I look at it as a learning process.
It's always a learning process, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And, learning just might not be painful. It might actually be fun. Am I the one that's hot or is it hot?
It's
The air conditioning is off on the weekends and it's automatically controlled.
Can we open up the doors just to get a... Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about that too.
Okay, here you go. I can toot my own horn. Was I like the only woman that was mad at that? I mean,
Oh my God, horrible.
who has a hard time talking about themselves? Yeah, we need to get over that. We need to get over that. And, I'm a lot better at it, but some of these things, it's on a process, right? I'm in a process. But this is something that's really important. If you're going to reinvent yourself.
Wow, that made a big difference.
Yeah.
Opening the door.
Yeah.
I tend that most professional women don't mind talking about their failures as opposed to their successes.
That's right. That's right.
So, I think it's the biggest learning experience we often get is talking about your successes in addition to your failures.
That's
Your
right.
complete.
And I had, one of my issues was, and this was a good learning for me, somebody gave me the feedback, it's like, how you know somebody, you go look on their LinkedIn page and you know them, you've worked with them and you read their resume.
And you think, wow,
Oh
it's a
my-
completely different person.
Yeah, it's like, they didn't do that. And it's like, I would just be humiliated, right, if somebody thought that I had overstated that. So the response I got was, well, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, don't be a 12. But don't be a 2 either. Be an 8. If you can't be a 10, be an 8. But don't be a 2. I'm like, oh, wow, that's a great idea. Okay, yeah. So, yeah.
Can you talk about a little bit on that note? Since it sounds like a lot of us find that difficult. Like, I guess I'm always trying to walk that fine line between confidence and hubris.
Yeah.
Because I think the confidence is really important, but it's like I don't want to go over that line where it's going to be like obnoxious, basically, and I'm going to fall flat on my face. Kind of thing, because I always feel like when you're overly prideful about yourself, you're just asking for it.
Right.
But it's important to get yourself up to that point of being confident as well.
That's right.
And I think about
think about it a lot, and I think in general, women tend to default on underplaying instead of overplaying. But really what I found for myself, if I'm working in something that excites me, and something I'm proud of, then I have this quiet confidence about myself that just comes across. And I mean, you can kind of tell when you're talking to other people, whether they're blustery or, I mean, I notice it all the time now in women just always diminish what they are doing. And part of the reason I see it is I do it sometimes too. I'm not as bad as I used to be, but it's a constant learning for me. But I think part of going back to if you're really working on something that resonates with you, that you know yourself is great. And I think that comes across as an energy that, you know, body language is 80% in words. And if you can come across with that body language, with that quiet confidence, then the words will follow. Has anybody else had that experience?
Oh yeah, I want to see people's one. I find that lack of confidence or self-assuredness comes just in being a woman too. You say to somebody, oh, I love your blouse. Oh, it's really old.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the back of my closet. I mean, we have a hard time just saying thank you.
We
you
do
know?
it to ourselves.
So I think that's an inherent thing. And then to address what she was saying, I find that if I'm sharing what I've done,
Yeah.
I'm just naturally excited about it, and it comes across as authentic. It isn't, I don't even think about being boastful because I'm in the moment of what it is that I was, sharing or excited about, and so people perceive it that way.
That's great. That's a great distinction. It's something we all need to be aware of, and if you can toot your own horn, you're going to go into the world with a powerful attitude. Okay, so pragmatic tools. This is really about making change a practice. So as opposed to something to avoid, oh my God, things are changing again, you make change a practice in your life, where, you know, all things change, right? You heard that phrase, something like when a living thing stops changing, it starts to die. So human beings don't necessarily take on that point of view, although, you know, there's a lot of evidence of that being true. But so what I learned out of this 20-year process of personal transformation, I was able to transfer to my career, is make change, embrace change as a normal process in your life, as a practice in your life. Now, I'm not saying going out and just doing crazy stuff, and, you know, we can all be busy, right? It's not about being busy. It's about taking your time and energy and saying no to the things that aren't meaningful and focusing on the things that are. And then constantly reinvent yourself to make them better. We've all got to do things we don't like, right? But there's always, finish our taxes by next week. We've all got things we have to do that we don't like. But you don't have to organize your life around it. This is about organizing your life. So let me talk about 5 different things, and we'll have a little exercise in one of them. So I put this graphic up here because, you know, sometimes when you start the change process and you adopt it as a practice, you're feeling a little bit like a square peg in a round hole. Take that as a good sign. So it'll get better. Okay, so let's talk about this. How many people have personal brands? Have personal branding? The first thing you need to do you have a personal? I bet you do. What is your personal brand?
Do you mean just in how we represent ourselves?
What's your personal brand?
Well, I'm also a musician, and I've done some theater, so I have my stage persona and brand that I use, and I have a fan page on Facebook. But anyways,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I
So
like her.
this is
Her